Hello, welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet, weaving, all of the fibre related things. Welcome to today's video, and it is time to let the dice decide again what I shall be working on in April. If you're new to the channel and you're wondering what on earth is going on, each month, particularly at the start of the year for the last couple of years, I have ended up with quite a few projects on the needles, and I employ a little bit of a fun game, a little bit of randomness to my making to try and help me choose what projects to focus on during a particular month. So I have got a multi-sided dice and I've made myself a whole bunch of prompt cards, and basically I roll the dice and the numbers correspond to a card and the cards have a prompt. I just said that, didn't I? Never mind, we're going with it. And whatever that prompt is, I try and pick a project from my current list of WIPs, works in progress, to focus on for the rest of the month. So as I've been doing so far this year, I'd like to, regardless of what the dice comes up with, I'd like to try and pick something from my most recent works in progress. So at the moment, that means my 12 cast on projects that I did at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. I'd like to do something from my older projects, so anything that was cast on in 2021 or before. And also I'm going to be carrying on with my 2 year-long projects, which is to knit at least one hat for charity each month. And the second is I am participating in Sarah Shearer Imagined Landscapes Year of the Gnomes. So if I can't get my hat and my gnome worked into whatever prompts the dice rolls, those will be projects that will be going on in the background too. I'll be posting this as my first video of April because a few people in our lovely Yarn and Yarns community have decided to join in and are also using my dice rolls as prompts to help them pick their projects for the month. If that's you, I'm posting this at the beginning of the month so you get as much time as possible to work on your projects throughout April too. So yeah, let's go over to the dice and see what it has in store for us. Okay, some interesting picks there. Lots of low numbers, which was quite unusual, but hey, that's just the fun of rolling the dice, I guess. So I've got 4 prompts, and I'm not going to pick my projects in order that they were rolled because there are a couple that are standing out as sort of easy to pick, and then hopefully that will help me choose the rest of the projects, because as I say, I'm trying to keep a balance between working on some of my newer projects and some of my older projects. So the dice very kindly chose a very specific prompt, that was to pick my newest work in progress. So I'm just going to hop on to my Ravelry page and see what that is. So after my 12 cast-ons, like my sort of cast-on splurge, everything else that I've cast on in 2022 has been cast off. So the newest project that I've got on my needles is my day 12 cast on, which is my natural stripes sweater. So let me grab that sweater and we can have a little look at where we're at and what might be in store for April. So the simple stripes sweater is a pattern by Sue V Knits. It's a top-down raglan, and as the name might imply, it's just a very simple striped sweater. And the pattern was gifted to me by a lovely member of our community, Kathy, who challenged me to cast this on for one of my projects for the 12 cast-ons this year. So this was an unexpected project, wasn't even on my radar when I started the 12 cast-ons. But here is my project, and I'm making mine. This was my progress-ish from day one. I believe I've added a little bit more. I think I worked on this very quickly in January, and I didn't speak about it on the podcast because I think added 3 or 4 rows to the project. So this is a little bit further on maybe than when we saw it in the 12 cast-ons video, but not much. And I'm using, I think, 4 or 5 colours from the lovely Fee of Flourish Fibres. I don't think Fee's dying at the moment, but when Fee has her Etsy shop open, she often offers up beautiful skeins of yarn that are naturally dyed. So I purchased some skeins of yarn from Fee to make a Vertices Unite shawl, which was a pattern by Stephen West. But after I cast on and knit the first section of that shawl, it wasn't really speaking to me anymore. I still like the idea of that shawl, but I guess at the moment I'm not really wearing a lot of shawls, or this last winter season I haven't been wearing a lot of shawls. So when I was reviewing my projects that I'd had on the needles for some time, I decided that I had enough yarn to actually make a sweater. So I decided at this point in my knitting life I would much rather have a sweater than a shawl. So I ripped out the shawl and kept the yarn, and then when Kathy gifted me this pattern, it was just a marriage made in heaven. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to picking this back up again and seeing how far I can get. Set myself a little goal for this project. I'd really like to get to the point where I split for the sleeves in this, and it's simple knitting. At the moment I'm obviously doing raglan increases and I haven't got very far at all, but yeah, perhaps that could be my goal for April, is to try and reach the section where I'm splitting for the sleeves and all of the colours will be in play. And yeah, I'm feeling really excited to pick that one up. So thanks to the dice for choosing that prompt for me. Okay, so I've got 3 prompts left. One of them, which was the last number pick, was to try something new, and that is a prompt for me to try a new technique, try a new yarn, to try something different that I haven't tried before, maybe a new pattern. I mean, I can interpret that any way that I want. So I'm going to put that one to one side for now and concentrate on the other 2, because thanks to the dice picking the newest project, I know that to sort of meet my self-imposed goals or self-imposed challenges, I want to pick something from my older works in progress. So I've got 2 prompts, that leaves me with 2 prompts to choose from, which is 12 cast-ons and something that's not orange. So I'm going to revisit my Ravelry project page and see what things are jumping out at me. I've got several things which are orange in my older, actually most of the things in my older works in progress have some sort of orange element to them, with the exception of Astragal, which is one of my sweater projects. So that could be a choice for not orange. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, even though it's another sweater, because I've also got a real hankering to work on a specific project in April, which includes orange, so I can't use the not orange prompt for that. I'm confusing myself, I don't know about you. Okay, Astragal is the project that I'm going to choose from my list of older projects, and something that fulfills the prompt that is not orange. So let me grab that project and we'll chat a little bit about that one. So the Astragal is a sweater designed by Anna Birkin-Bayeva, and I'm sure I've pronounced that incorrectly, so I apologise for that. And I cast this on back in October last year, and I'm using my handspun yarn for this project. And I got a reasonable way into this project, so let's try and get it out of the project bag. And here it is. It's all a bit screwed up in the bag, but it's got a really simple sort of leaf design motif on the yoke, and it looks like I've just split for the sleeves. This is the joy of picking out projects that I haven't worked on in a while. I have to remind myself where I am. So yeah, I've split for the sleeves and I've knit a little bit on the body. So I think I probably need to put this on cable extenders. I probably paused on this because I needed to put it on a cable extender and try it on just to make sure it's all okay for fit. But if it is, I'm basically just knitting down the body. Sorry for the jingling. I've got a metal needle protector on here and it's bashing against the stitch marker that's marking the start of my round. Let me just I've actually made more progress on this than I remembered, so that's a good thing, right? And yeah, if this is fitting, it's just round and round knitting. So ooh, exciting. I wonder how far I can get for that. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to be knitting that to pattern, because as I say, I'm using my handspun yarn, and based on my rather inaccurate measuring of my handspun yarn in terms of meterage, I think I was right on the cusp of having just enough to do this sweater, and maybe even having to crop the sleeves. So it's a sort of cropped sweater with long, well, 3/4 length sleeves, but I'm hoping to lengthen the sweater a bit, and if that means I have to make short sleeves, then so be it. But it'd be quite nice, I don't know if I'm over challenging myself here, especially as I've got another sweater project, but they're both simple knitting. It'd be quite nice to actually get the body done in April. We'll see if I'm setting myself up for failing my goals here. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, it's just a bit of fun, and these are all self-imposed aspirations, so we shall see where we go. Okay, so just a little while ago I hinted that I knew which project I wanted to try and squeeze into my April making, and I'm going to use my 12 cast on prompt, which was dice number 1. And I am going to go back to working on my Astra vest, which if you watched my February wrap up might not be of any surprise to you, because I really want to progress this project and see how it goes. So it's another hand spun sweater, another sweater that I've chosen 3 sweater projects. This could be a recipe for disaster. But here is my Astra. I won't chat about it too much because I chatted about it quite a lot in my February wrap up. So if you're interested, if you're new and you're interested in finding out more detail, it might be worth popping back to that particular video. But I've got to the point now where I'm ready to split for the front and the back. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where I go with this and how well I can sort of do my colour matching for the tops, and yeah, just how this project's going to turn out. So I was really hoping to be able to squeeze this onto my April making. So yeah, I am going to be using my 12 cast on prompt to go back to my Astra vest. Wow, that's 3 prompts and 3 sweaters. This isn't even all the sweaters I've got on the needles. I am that ridiculous. Okay, so that leaves me with this final prompt, which is try something new. And I am wondering if I can fit my charity hat making onto this prompt. I'm just going to do a little bit of Ravelry investigation, and then I'll come back and let you know what I'm thinking. So bear with me, it would be just a second for you, but I'm going to pause my recording. And yes, I'm super excited that I can use my charity hat knitting to fulfill this prompt, because the next hat on my list of projects that I wanted to make is the Mirrolat hat by Woolly Wormhead. So I'll just show you a project, I'll just show you a picture of that hat. So there it is, and it was kindly gifted to me by the lovely Louise. Hi Louise, if you're watching. And Louise gifted me that during the 12 cast on period this year, which is just fabulous. And this hat's been on my wish list for a while because I think it would be great for some hand spun yarn. But this hat is knit sideways, and I've never knit a hat sideways before. So I am going to be trying this out, not with my hand spun yarn to start with. I'll be picking some scraps and leftovers probably, and knitting this hat up, and it will go into my basket to donate or give away at some point later in the year. This iteration will be like a little test to see whether I like the style and whether it suits me, and if it does, then I shall then plan to make one for myself using my hand spun yarn at some point later down the line. So yeah, Mirrolat hat. Kind of nice to get a slightly smaller project on my list of projects to make. With 3 sweaters, it'll be nice to have a break, and also I need something that's maybe going to be a little bit more portable. So yeah, we'll see. I might need to sneak something else onto the list, although at the moment the striped sweater is fairly portable. It's quite a small project, so that could definitely work into out and about knitting if I needed to. So there we go. Those were the prompts that the dice picked, and those were the picks that I made to correspond with the prompts that I was given. And I guess time will tell whether I'm being too ambitious picking 3 sweaters to knit on. I think what I'll probably do is try and concentrate on each project for at least a week. So hopefully that will help me keep sort of focused in a little bit more on each of the projects, rather than sort of switching and chopping and changing and confusing myself as to where I am in the pattern. If I try and concentrate on each of those sweater projects for a week at a time, then with any luck I will show some reasonable progress on each one. Please do let me know in the comments below what your making plans are for April, if you have any, and if you are using the dice prompts to help pick your projects, let me know what projects you have picked that correspond with the rolls that we had this month. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. I'll be back again soon. I suspect coming up shortly will be my March making wrap-up video. I've also got some prize draw videos to post, and yeah, all sorts of things coming up. I've got some spinning videos planned, so plenty more content coming up here on the channel soon. So I hope you will join me for the next video, but until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.